All right, Brad Holmes is cooking again, trading up, just throwing away third rounders. If the Rams hated first round picks, Brad Holmes hates third round picks, at least future ones. And he is selling it because he found another guy that he loves, and it's a homegrown talent. It's a guy that comes from the Hudsonville area, Unity Christian on the west side of the state, a Michigan guy coming home with a really cool story. But Chris, I'm going to show what the trade was, and then I want to get your opinion on this. So here's kind of what we're looking at with this trade. The Detroit Lions are going to receive pick 70, which they've used to get Isaac Tesla. What a cool name. I think it's Tesla, but we're calling him Tesla because he's battery powered. They get pick 182, which is a sixth rounder, and a next year sixth rounder, and they give up 3/3. Now, all three of those thirds are likely back. One of those third rounders is the compensatory pick that we got for Aaron Glenn. When you see this trade at first, how do you feel about it? And then let's talk about the player we got, because he is a freak athlete, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, the trade initial thoughts, don't love it because you've given up 2026 third round picks, two of them, which would be so nice to just have next year, right? And when next year comes around, you just don't have them. It's like, dang. But then I think you look a little deeper, and we went from 102 all the way up to 770. Is that
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
32. That's a whole round jump because those were compensatory picks. So it was
right.
actually after the third round was done, it was the picks tacked on the back.
Absolutely. So this is so you see the little calculator there on the bottom, and you pointed this out. This is a dead even trade. And
Yeah.
so there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. So it really does depend on who do you grab, right? That's what that if you grab somebody and it's a home run, then it's like it's all worth it and we're all good. And that's the question, because this is an interesting player that you just hit on it. It's like, hey, he's from Michigan. We'd never really heard about him.
Nope.
Some thought he was going to go later in the draft. I'm getting kind of like Jahmyr Gibbs type vibes where it's like, why do we take this? It's totally different.
Already? Jack
Yeah.
Campbell vibes, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And that's kind of where this is at, which is interesting, very interesting, because we just didn't have him on our radar. So let's talk about the player. Now that we saw the trade, if the player's good and pans out, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
What do you think? Initial thoughts on this player?
Yeah, this is interesting. I was preparing for like mock drafts and stuff like that. So I might have even had a video on it, like talking about how this is a sleeper guy that the Lions could pick because I think he perfectly fits that X receiver, but he's an X receiver with a little extra oomph. Now he played slot in college. He was a big slot in college. I don't think he has to play the slot for us. This dude is massive and extremely, extremely athletic. So let's talk about this guy for a second. This is the 11th most athletic wide receiver to ever test at the combine. And this is a guy, 3,441 wide receivers have been tested. He has elite speed. He's a 4.4 guy. He has elite height at 6'3.5". He has elite weight at 214 pounds. He has elite explosion, and he has amazing agility. He can do it all. And this is a guy that is going to be, it's going to be a little developmental, right? This is a guy who started D2, then he jumped to the SEC, and he was kind of productive, but not extremely because he played at Arkansas. They were awful. I mean, just absolutely terrible. But when I was watching film on this guy, as I encourage all of you to do, not right now, finish watching this video. And what you will see is a guy who jumps off the page compared to other wide receivers that are going right now in the draft. When you see him play, his movement, his skills jump off the page. He's one of those guys who can make other people look slow and small. Does that make sense?
100%. And no, he had 28 catches last year. And I guess you got to remember our current roster where you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then we've gone through this, who's going to be the supporting cast. And then Jameson Williams comes on. And we're like, okay, cool. But we all are like, in the perfect world, we need that X. We need that one more.
Need it.
And it's like, oh, is it Donovan Peoples-Jones? Is it? And we're just kind of going all over. And now we did find Josh Reynolds. Cool. Almost Band-Aid-ish for a year. Then Tim Patrick. Love it. but I think we're looking a little bit more long-term solution here, and that's what this is, and that's why you go all the way up there. So I think it would be fair for everybody to be mixed emotions right now,
Absolutely.
but I definitely think it's fair also to be like, man, Brad Holmes, anytime you've done a super surpriser pick, it's Jahmyr Gibbs, it's Jack Campbell, it's Sam Laporta. It's like, what, tight end? What are we doing? And
Yeah.
so I think we can. I think this is a lot better than people realize. And again, we're going to continue to learn more about this guy. But when you plan a bad offense and you don't have the production, that's just throws you off. But then when you're the 11th most athletic wide receiver tested in the history of the
Ever.
combine,
Yeah.
all right, I'll give you. Let's talk. Right.
I'll
So
give you a shot.
yeah, I'll give you a shot. So this is interesting. That's just kind of the word I keep kind of overusing, but that's where I'm at with this.
Yeah, and you keep saying you keep making the comparison to Gibbs and to Laporta. I said Campbell, right? Like I know it's a different position.
Yeah.
This also has a little bit of like a Giovanni Manu Sione Vaki vibe from last year,
Mm,
right? Where it's like, okay, all right, who are these guys? Why did we trade up to get them in the third round when we could have picked them up in the fifth or sixth?
right.
And it's simple. Brad Holmes knows if he's this high on my board, he's probably this high on somebody else's board too. And we're willing to do it. Like we heard him talk about it last year with those guys. Like, are we going to regret not trading up for them? I do think he is a more ready-made product than those two guys already. I really, I just do. Because he's 23 years old, just 23. He played, like I said, at D2. Then he played 2 years at Arkansas. Here's what I like about him. He didn't go to Arkansas and then transfer again when he wasn't getting thrown the ball or when he was in a bad offense. He
Yeah,
just
yeah,
said,
yeah.
that's okay. I'm going to stick here. I'm going to go. That's a character thing. Also, I know, like, look, we love being homers, like this fan base with the Lions, but it is a kid from West Michigan. He was a dual threat quarterback. He won a state championship at a school that had never won one. And hasn't won one since. Right. And so it's one of those things. I believe you won a state championship. Didn't you say that, Chris?
Yeah, I think he
And
did. Yep. Yep.
yeah. So like it's one of those things where he's always been a dynamic athlete. It's just a question of can he get coached up to get it right? And I think sitting for a year, not sitting, I think he's still going to play, but watching Tim Patrick do his thing,
Yeah.
watching the technician that is Amon-Ra St. Brown do his thing. What better place to learn how to play wide receiver at the NFL level than the Detroit Lions?
And now the one thing people are going to talk about and ask, why didn't we take a defensive end?
Edge.
And
Yeah.
oh man, keeps coming up, and I don't really have a good answer at this point. I did before where I was like, hey, trenches or the right guy's not available or free agency, it's not quite available. It is starting to get a little just like would really, because now we're not picking in the fourth. Kind of missed our window to get an elite edge that I just think we all thought we were going to do. Is any concerns for you on that, or just keep on rolling?
Yes, there are concerns. Like I'm not gonna lie, right? This tells me that Zadarius Smith is coming back. Like I think my concern happens if it goes a week after the draft and we haven't signed another veteran D end. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have a problem with having a veteran D end, another one come in and be on this roster. That's fine to me. That's fine to me. But
And,
yeah, I do struggle with that. And
and
I thought we were going to go get Josiah Stewart. I really did.
I
But
did too. And
yeah.
no, I think you're exactly right. I think Zadarius Smith's playing this really well. It's like, hey, let me see what you guys do. Right, I sign with you, and you on like a non-guaranteed or whatever kind of deal, and you draft two edges. So it's like I'll just see what you guys do after the draft. And the
Mhm.
Lions aren't probably making him any promises, and then he gets to see, all right, you didn't take anybody, or you took one
Yeah.
dude in the sixth round. Fine, I'll come back. So I'm with you. I think there's still time for an edge, but it is starting to get a. I guess we just all thought we would do an edge. So to go all the way up there and get an X receiver from school and the low production is interesting. Dang it.
It is interesting.
Uh-huh.
I mean, last year we went all the way up there to get a tackle from Canada. And we went all the way up. Was it third or fourth round? I think it was fourth round or late third round for Vaki, right? I think it was fourth round. We went up there to get Vaki, a guy who had only played like 6 games at running back. No, he's our running back now. And by the way, did any of us watching Sione Vaki in preseason think that he's not going to be a good running back? He's going to be a good running back.
He's going to be good.
Yeah. Do any of us think that Giovanni Manu will never play? Like, he's going to play.
Yeah.
And so, like, I do trust this. And when I look at a guy that has that type of athleticism, speed combo, it's really simple. Can I teach you how to run the right routes? That's it.
Yep.
He has the hands. He has everything else. He has the frame. He's got the athletic traits. It's just simple. Can you learn the nuance of the wide receiver position? And I think he's in a great position to do that. I think he ends up actually helping more here. But by the way, he can play X, but with that speed, with that freak athletic ability, guess what else he can do? If Jameson Williams gets hurt, he can play that side of the field too.
Mm-hmm.
He can play it. He can do all of it. So I really do, like, I understand it does feel like, why do we get him at 70? But then you see the run of wide receivers going around him and you understand, like, okay, actually it does make sense. I thought he was I loved him when I fell in love with him actually when I was down in Florida on vacation. I was watching film.
In the Jets GM, who's no longer their GM, came out this week and said that they were 100% going to draft Jahmyr Gibbs, and they were so pumped about it. And the Lions took him, and they never thought anybody was gonna. They were trying to be cool about it. It was kind of their big.
Nobody's gonna jump us in the top 15.
There's no way this is going to be the great pick, and the Lions pick him up, and we all pointed and laughed at the Lions, and we could have the best running back since Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
That's all. So
we got pick 70, pick 180 something, and we basically gave up 3 pick 100s because I'm assuming we're going to have a good year this year.
Yeah.
And it's a and 2 compensatory picks.
Yep. So love it. Okay.
All right. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Let's just keep going. We'll see what else Brad Holmes has to do for the draft. Maybe he moves up again. I don't know. Who needs more picks? See you on the next one.
See ya.